and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to take you through what sold on Poshmark over the summer, or actually the last 3 months, July, August, and September. I started selling on Poshmark in June of this year, so June 2022. I did a video back then at the end of June telling you what had sold in that first month, and I realized I'm long overdue for another video covering what has sold. So today we're just going to go through the last 3 months really quickly and let you know what sold for me. So I'm going to come over here to my sold items and I'll let you know what has sold. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here. So one of the first things that sold over the summer was this Atmosphere Crocheted Tassel Boho Festival tank top. It's a mouthful. It's basically this really cute tassel tank top that I found over the summer. When I saw it at the thrift store, I had to grab it right away. It was in excellent condition and definitely fits that kind of boho festival thing. And then crochet was definitely a big trend over the summer, and I think that will continue. So that one sold for the huge amount of $13. I think I picked it up for around $6, so not a huge profit on that, but I was happy to see it go to someone who I knew was really going to enjoy it. Next up is this Gap woven brown leather belt in a size extra small. This is a really beautiful belt that was actually in my personal closet for many years. Kind of outgrew it, but kept it around for a while afterwards because it was just such a beautiful piece. So I had a hard time letting it go, but ended up selling it for $23. And again, really happy to have this piece go to someone who is actually going to fit and who will enjoy it. It was just such a beautiful piece with really high quality hardware, beautiful brown leather on it. Next up was this Stash Sack retro neon crossbody bag. Such a fun find at the thrift. I think I picked this up for $3 or $4. Such a fun little kind of retro Y2K piece. I knew someone was going to love it for their summer fun wardrobe. It had such great details like this little rainbow zipper and just really fun neon colors. So that sold for $15. Again, not a huge profit, but a good sale nonetheless. Then we have this cardigan by Polo Ralph Lauren. Really high quality piece, just a little bit too small for me. Even though it's a size medium, it would definitely, in my opinion, would fit more of a small size. Beautiful color, it was in excellent condition, and this sold for $15. Next up was another purse or bag, and as I'm doing this video, I'm realizing how well bags and purses have sold for me generally, so I'm definitely going to start focusing on picking up more of them. This sold for only $13, but I think I picked it up for about $3 or $4. Really cute details, lots of zippers, and you don't often see a full denim purse, so I knew someone was going to love this. Pretty high quality hardware, and everything was beautifully intact. So this was a really nice find. Next up is one of maybe the favorite things I've ever found while thrifting was this vintage San Angel color block midi dress. And such a beautiful piece. When I found this thrifting, I wanted to keep it. It was just a tad too small for me. I tend to like things to fit me really oversized, so it did fit me. It just wasn't completely my style once I put it on, but I knew some vintage loving queen would find this and fall in love with it. So that sold pretty quickly after I found it. I think maybe it was up for about 2 weeks at the most, and that sold for $58 because it was a real vintage item. So you can definitely price those things a little bit higher. They're more valuable, they're harder to find, and they're, you know, one of a kind pieces. So people are willing to pay a bit more for them, myself included. I think I thrifted this for around $12. So that was a nice profit on that one. Next up is another vintage item. It's a vintage black and white palm tree midi sundress in a size small. This was something that was in my personal closet for many, many years. I loved it from the moment I saw it. I remember really seeking out a black and white summer dress. And so when I found this one, I was very excited. Just a really classic palm print on it. Kind of a cool racer back with really thin spaghetti straps. And I just outgrew it eventually, so I knew I had to let it go. So that one sold for $20. Next we have these Vans old school black and white low tops. Classic shoe in really great condition. I thrifted these, I think, for about $10, and they sold for $30. So not a huge profit on that, but these shoes never go out of style, so I knew I was going to be able to find a buyer for these. And I did for $30. Then we have this pair of jeans that it was really hard for me to let these go. This was from my personal closet again. I wore the heck out of these jeans. This was my favorite pair of pants for a couple of years. I bought them vintage and just wore them so much, and just outgrew them over the pandemic. Tragic. So after holding on to them for a couple of years, I knew I just had to let them go finally and find myself a new pair of the same style. So these sold for $45. Then we have this really cute sleeveless vest. It's from Boohoo. And this sold for only $13, but I think I picked it up for about $6. So not a huge profit on this. But Boohoo isn't the, you know, top quality brand in terms of materials, but this was in excellent condition. I thought it was actually a really cute piece, and I knew someone would love it, so I picked it up. Next we have this Hudson Bay striped tote bag, the classic Hudson Bay stripes. I think I picked this one up for about $3 or $4 and sold it for $15. Next, this was part of a bundle sale. I think there's 3 or 4 items in this bundle that someone put together. I loved these jeans when I saw them, and I was very tempted to keep these for myself. They did fit me, but they were just a titch too small, too tight. So I had to let them go, but look at what a cool shape this is. It's kind of that balloon shaped. Not for everyone, but I personally love a balloon shaped jeans. Really nice kind of medium to dark wash on these, and I sold them for $48. I think I thrifted them for about $10. And I think this was part of that same bundle. This is a pair of Gap Classic Fit black jeans. Really great pair of exactly that classic fit, really high quality and no stretch denim on these. High-waisted, kind of a straight to tapered leg on these. So I sold these for $24. I think I picked them up for about $8. The third thing in that bundle was this One Clothing Boho cream summer dress. It had this kind of wrinkly cotton look to it. And just a really classic style of the button-down front, short sleeve V-neck. So I definitely snatched this up when I found it thrifting. I think I found this at a thrift by the pound place, so I think I paid about $3 or $4 for this and sold it for $28. And the last thing, sorry, I had a little glitch in my computer there. The last thing that was part of that bundle of 4 things was this pair of Everlane crossover leather sandals in a light blue color. Beautiful pair of sandals. These were actually gifted to me by a friend who was moving out of town, and she knew that I was getting into selling on Poshmark, so she very generously gave me these because she was no longer wearing them. They literally sold the same day I listed them as part of this bundle, and they sold for $57, which is a nice profit considering I got them for free. Then this next item was part of a different bundle. This is a pair of Cougar Plymouth waterproof ankle boots. Cougar is such a great brand. I mean, I live in Canada. It can get rainy and snowy here, so I've always loved Cougar because they really are high quality and they really do keep the rain and the weather out. So I snatched these up. They were a bit too big for me, but I knew someone would want them. As you can see, Cougar always waterproof, so true. They had that kind of nice sort of like Doc Marten style kind of see-through tread on them. And those sold for $42 as part of a bundle. In that same bundle was something from my personal closet that I had for years, which was a vintage ivory Simon Chang crop sleeveless blouse in a size small. This was such a beautiful piece. So flattering. It had this kind of wrinkled linen-y look to it, and it was fully lined on the inside. It zipped up the back. It just had so many beautiful details, and I was quite reticent to let this piece go, but I really just wasn't wearing it anymore, so I knew some other vintage lover would pick this up for sure. So I sold this for $34. I bought it so many years ago, I don't remember what I paid for it. And then the last thing in that bundle was this Audrey 3+1 champagne colored sleeveless halter neck dress. Really cute piece that I actually picked up years ago for myself at a thrift shop in British Columbia, where I'm from. Really cute details, this halter neck with the buttons at the back, kind of a keyhole shape at the back as well. It was fully lined. I think it was polyester, but it just had a really beautiful sheen and texture to it. So that sold for $14. Again, I picked it up so many years ago, I don't remember what I paid, but probably about $5 or $6. Next is this Talbot's Petites color block midi coat. Gorgeous piece. I love coats like this. I love a good sort of mid-length overcoat for the winter. I have so many of them in my personal closet. This one didn't quite fit me the way I wanted it to, but I got such a great deal picking it up at the thrift store. I think I paid like $7 for it, and this sold for $50. Then we have this super cute embroidered teddy bear backpack with rope straps. I think this was vintage, but I wasn't entirely certain because there's no tags or labels in it, so I didn't want to label it as vintage if I didn't know for sure. But it definitely had a vintage feel. It was in really excellent condition, but just some of the touches on it made me think it was vintage. But regardless, this sold for $28. Such a cute piece. I mean, look at that embroidery. Next, we have this vintage Ralph Lauren button knob. This is from the 90s. This is true vintage. Gorgeous piece. It was in excellent condition. I think I found this one at Value Village and paid about $10 or $11 for it. It looked brand new, but it was definitely a vintage piece from the research I did on the labels. And this sold for $46. Next up is this divided button front faux suede miniskirt. Really cute piece. I think I thrifted this for about $6 or $7 and it sold for $21. Then we have this Club Monaco Meshnet V-neck shirt. Really cool piece. It was kind of a knitted mesh, really soft, see-through sheer, but knit. So it was kind of an unusual piece, V-neck, deep V-neck. I thought this would be a great layering piece for someone. I was kind of tempted to keep this one for myself. I thrifted this at a thrift by the pound, so I think I paid about $3 or $4 for it, and it sold for $22. Next, we have this pair of Zara jeans. They're called the Marine Straight Wide Leg Jeans, and in a size 8. Really cute pair of pants, kind of a cropped look, as you can see, high waist. Just a great summer jean. And I think I paid about $8 for these, and they sold for $25. Next, we have this pair of Leandra Medine times Mango, or sorry, by Mango, high-rise straight button fly blue jeans. Super cool pair of jeans. I was so sad when I found these that they didn't fit me. They're a few sizes too small, because to me, this is just denim perfection. I love a good straight leg, high-rise button fly. I was a big fan of the Man Repeller website. If you don't know Leandra Medine, she used to run this website called Man Repeller, which was a fashion blog, and just, you know, the way she dressed was maybe not everyone's cup of tea, hence the name Man Repeller, but I personally loved her style. So she did this collaboration with Mango a couple years ago, and I was lucky enough to score these at a thrift store. I paid a bit up for these. I think I paid about $15 for these, which is high for me for thrifting, but they did end up selling for $52. Next, we have this scarf from my personal vintage collection, something I had for many, many years. It was actually hard for me to list this. I had a bit of an attachment to it. There was no sentimental reason. I just thought it was such a beautiful scarf, but I'm not really a scarf wearing person. So it was just kind of sitting in a drawer for year after year and not getting the love, the sartorial love it deserves. So I decided to finally list it, and this sold for $28. Next, we have this pair of Levi's. Levi's always sell really well for me, and I personally love Levi's, so I'm always picking them up at thrift stores. I have so many pairs listed right now. This was a pair of Wedgie black jeans. They were in excellent condition, almost like new. And the Wedgie is a really good seller. It's a really flattering fit that people love. And this sold for $35. This Zara cropped mock neck gray sweater sold for $15. I think I picked this up for about $4, so not a huge profit, but I think it was priced right for the quality it was. It was kind of a thin fabric, so it wasn't like a full-on wool sweater, but such a cute piece, and that sold really quickly, so I sold that for $15. Next, we have another pair of Levi's. I picked these up on that same thrifting trip as the Wedgies, and this is a pair of ribcage straight jeans. I actually have a pair myself that I have in my size that I wear all the time. I really love this model of Levi's. Really high-waisted, button fly, straight leg, but kind of a looser straight leg. So these sold for $50, and I think I paid $15 for them. Yet another pair of Levi's. This is the 550 relaxed fit. Really love this model of Levi's as well, a little bit baggier and really flattering, I find, if you're into a baggier fit. So these sold for $37, and I think I bought them for $10. For the Wu-Tang fans, we've got this Wu-Tang Clan Staten Island Boombox sweatshirt. This I think I found at a Value Village for about $7, and it sold for $28. Really cute piece. This is a gorgeous quality piece I found from a company I'd never heard of before, but I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for from now on. It's the Vermont Flannel Company. This was such a beautiful flannel, such high quality, so soft, such vibrant colors. I was tempted to keep this one for myself, but it was just a little bit too big. So I think I bought this for $12 and it sold for $25. I probably could have gotten more for this piece, but I took an offer and sold it for $25, and this sold really quickly. This item was part of a bundle. This was from my personal vintage collection, a pair of red wool dress pants. And I bought these years ago, and I paid to get them lined because the lining had ripped in them. So I think I bought them for like $10 and then spent like $20 getting them lined. So they're beautiful, but I just never ended up wearing them. I thought I could be a red pant person, but I just never found myself putting together an outfit that I loved with these, but they're so gorgeous. So I kept them around for a while. These ended up selling for $44. Part of that same bundle was this new with tags Clark's Glick Rosetta lace-up shoes. I bought these 7 or 8 years ago, kept them in the box. Every summer I would pull them out thinking I would wear them, and I just, again, sort of like the red pants, I never could put together an outfit that I felt like me in. So I finally just realized these shoes weren't really my style. So I decided to list them. It was kind of painful to let them go. I just kind of still wanted to keep them, even though I was never wearing them. But these sold for $129 as part of the bundle. And I do think because of the bundle, there was a discount on all 3 of those items, so it wasn't quite $129. The last thing in that bundle was this striped short sleeve blouse. Really cute piece. This was actually from my personal closet too. Like the other 2 items, I just never wore this, even though I really like the style of it. Super soft, really pretty blouse. Just wasn't wearing it, so that sold for $18. Next up is this pair of Everlane curvy 90s cheeky straight jean. I found these at a thrift store for $10, which I was really excited about because the Everlane is such high quality. I've got a few pieces in my personal wardrobe. These didn't quite fit me, or I probably would have kept them. And these sold for $60, so that was a nice profit on those. Next, we have this Beatles t-shirt with the drum logo on it. I grew up listening to the Beatles, so I definitely had to pick this up. And I think I paid $7 for this, and it sold for $27. And lastly, right at the end of September, this pair of jeans sold. This is one of the first things I listed. I got this at a Thrift by the Pound store really early on in my Poshmark journey. So I think I paid about $4 for these. I kind of love them because you don't often see the forest green Levi's. They were in excellent condition and they sold for $25. So that is basically everything that's sold in July, August, and September. I will return with another video recapping what sold in October at the end of the month, or I might wait 2 months and do it at the end of November. I'm trying to do this more regularly, and I will be doing, I've started selling on Depop and Etsy and Grailed as well. So keep your eyes out for upcoming videos about what sold recently on those platforms. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you next time.